Everybody has been talking about this video from SypherPK. Fortnite needs to do this in Chapter 7, and today we're going to be reacting to it today. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Please go show Sypher some love in the pinned comment description down below. Let's hear what he has to say about Chapter 7.
Dear Fortnite, after 8 long years, we're about to enter Chapter 7. And based on the current trajectory of this game, it needs to be a hit.
Oh God. Already starting with this conversation. Hey guys, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm tired of it. Fortnite's fine. It's not fine. It's doing well.
So in this video, I created a Chapter 7 wish list and some predictions based off of what we know so far.
Now, I didn't know this was going to be a Chapter 7 wish list. I guess I should have known that by the title. I just knew that people were talking about this video. I'm also going to be coming out with the list, but I might, like, unfortunately just say it as I'm yapping over here, so we'll find out.
Because this chapter will be a make or break for a lot of people who enjoy this game.
Translation, I am going to talk about how much chapter is going to be a make or break for me, but because I'm chronically online, because I have no self-control, I am going to continue to play the game anyways and cry about it online about how much I don't like it.
Chapter 7 needs to tackle some of the biggest issues the game is having, as well as delivering us some new content that we didn't even know we needed. And the first issue that Fortnite is having is that the Battle Royale core game mode is still dying. And
this is tough, man, because it's not like this brand new thing for people to play around anymore. But I truthfully, with all of my heart, wholeheartedly believe that it is an attention span issue. We used to have no problem back in Chapter 1 walking around looking for people. Granted, you got into more fights back in Chapter 1, but it wasn't anything like crazy. You still have to be patient. People don't have the patience anymore, and that's why people are playing Fortnite Blitz. I really think that's the issue. So I guess you could say the Battle Royale genre. I don't want to say it's dying. I'm tired of that word because it's not the right way to put it. People are just getting less and less interested in the Battle Royale genre.
Dying might be a little bit of an exaggeration.
Well, sorry, I didn't know he was going to say that.
But it is down significantly from its previous years. A lot more players are playing the different modes that Fortnite has to offer.
Yeah, I'm personally somebody who loves playing Fortnite Reload. I find but this is somebody who's finds competitive Fortnite a lot of fun, and they've been cycling in and out a bunch of favorite weapons, so I enjoy it more than I do Battle Royale.
I do feel like Fortnite is at its strongest when the core game mode, the core of Battle Royale, is doing well, and right now it's honestly not doing that well.
Well, we also just introduced the Simpsons season, right? As of the time recording this video, the player numbers are still good, so we'll have to figure out how that goes in about a week or two.
I did a whole video on this topic, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but essentially Battle Royale needs to see some refresh and changes to get people excited about the core gameplay.
For me, that was Fortnite Delulu. I absolutely cannot wait until I have opportunities on the weekend to play Fortnite Delulu. It brings me back. That is something that's refreshing. That's something that can keep me going forever. Keep me on the same map with the exact same loot pool. I don't care. Give me the proximity chat in a Battle Royale mode. I am having fun with it.
It's good to see these new modes like Blitz and Reload doing well, as well as some UEFN maps popping off like Steal a Brain Rot. And I know people might have differences of opinions about these modes being successful, but overall the future of Fortnite will be better if there's a bunch of different modes that have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of players.
But I personally don't like Steal the Brain Rot, and I read it on Twitter that I'm not supposed to like Steal the Brain Rot, so nobody should like it.
But in order for that to happen, the core and heart of Fortnite needs to be strong, and for a lot of people, that is Battle Royale. Let's go over some changes that could be made and some updates that could come to Battle Royale to make it better. First things first, it has been 8 years. The trend of Battle Royale has come and gone, but Fortnite is still here to stay, as well as some other Battle Royale games, although Fortnite is the biggest of them all.
I still personally love the genre of Battle Royale. I think Fortnite's great. And I'm excited. I haven't played it yet, but I have been very, very open and kind of excited to try the Battlefield Battle Royale. And I've always said if Halo ever sits down and actually works hard on a Battle Royale, that could be my favorite game of all time. I love the genre.
When it first came out, it was all about the large map experience and, you know, having an epic journey that lasts about 25 to 30 minutes with one person or one squad taking home the win. It was exhilarating, it was fun, it was exciting, it got your heart racing, and that's no longer the case.
Why is that the case? One, bots. Two, because people aren't content with losing anymore. People don't focus on having fun with the game. And we've had this conversation so many times. It is a major, major, major mindset shift in gamers now. That's why it's not fun anymore. So Fortnite now has a bunch of bots. They make it easier with skill-based matchmaking, and then the wins don't feel rewarding. Shocker.
It could be that players are just used to winning these days, or some players have hundreds of wins and another win doesn't really mean much to them. It could be the introduction of bots and AIs makes it a lot easier and the wins mean less.
They mean nothing. They don't just mean less, they mean nothing at this point.
Or it could just be the repetition that has people burnt out. Either ways, something needs to change. In my opinion, if we look at the Chapter 6 map right now, it is just way too big of a map. It is a massive map. No ninja. Like, it is huge. 100 players, and out of those 100, maybe 30 are real, and that's being generous.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the issue with it, right? You run around, you don't find anybody forever, and then when you do find somebody, it's not even like rewarding at all. I don't know, and I'd have to like look at them like side by side on whether or not the Chapter 6 map is bigger than previous chapters. It feels like it is, but I'm not sure.
There are so many spots on this map that I have never stepped foot in because of how big it is.
To be honest with you, I haven't cared about the POIs in a long time, and that's, I guess it goes to show the state of Battle Royale, because again, I love the genre, but Epic Games has been killing it with the bots. Like, that's just completely ruining the experience for me, to the point where I am a little bit sad because I never made a goodbye to every single POI in Chapter 6 video, which is something that I did for every single chapter. I don't have any sort of connection to these POIs because the way that Battle Royale has been handled, it's been driving me away from Battle Royale a little bit.
So you might think, what changed? We still have 100 players. Well, no, not really. Because back in Chapter 1, we had 100 real players in every single game on a large map. Now we have anywhere from 10 to 30 real players on the same size, if not an even bigger map than before. So
dude, man, it really does feel like 10 to 15. It does. I don't know what the exact number is, but that's what it feels like.
Fortnite wants to keep the smaller player count of real players in each game. They need to make the map smaller. And I'm not talking about making it the size of Reload or Blitz mode, but it definitely needs to be smaller than what the current Battle Royale size is.
And they've done that with the Simpsons map so far. And the Simpsons map, I haven't really figured out whether or not people are enjoying the small map yet. I need to play it a little bit more myself, but it does feel like I've been getting into more proper fights.
The other option is to go in the complete opposite direction and increase the amount of players that are on the map.
Ooh,
now,
that I like better. That's a better idea. I don't know why that didn't come to mind. Give me 150, but the thing is, they need to be real players. Real players. What? Give the people who want bot lobbies if they really want.
I don't know if the infrastructure and coding allows for this to happen. It could cause too much lag. I know this was a goal for Fortnite, especially with Unreal Engine 6 around the corner. They want to have the capabilities to have 150 or 250 player lobbies.
Actually, I think I remember hearing something about that, but I'm not sure. But then again, look how much they've been delaying every single feature in UEFN, so that's probably going to be way down the road.
And I think that would be fantastic for the current size of the map. It would make the gameplay feel more exciting, more impactful, the wins would mean more, and it would just be an overall more action-packed game mode. And it would compare to some of the game modes that we're getting right now, like Reload and Blitz, where it feels like there's constant action, compared to Battle Royale, where you'll run into a bot every few minutes and then occasionally run into a real player, and before you know it, you're in the top 3 and one of the players is a bot still. Now, those aren't the only changes that can be done to the core mode. Obviously, there's other things that can be tackled, like movement on the map, player movement, even storm behavior can be changed. I think at this point, Epic should be looking to change the formula and tweak things to make things fresh and exciting.
You know, what people have always been talking about in Chapter 1, and I feel like the conversation just completely like went out. Never mind. I was about to say the conversation completely went out the window for some reason, then I realized this conversation is no longer being had because Zero Build has been introduced. Everybody back in the day would be interested in them adding a new material to the game or adding some new sort of building piece, but obviously half the player base, maybe even more, are playing Zero Build, so that's not the way that they should be shaping up the game. I just didn't think about that until now.
Without taking away from the core of what makes BR fun. Less bots, more action, more excitement, and a special feeling when you finally get that win.
That's what they need. That's what they've been missing from Fortnite. But again, it's a double-edged sword in a little bit because the players aren't having as much fun losing anymore.
That is what Fortnite needs to achieve to get people hooked back on Battle Royale again. There's a few more points I want to cover regarding the core BR. In Chapter 1, 2, and 3, the main storyline happened on the main BR map. And now that Fortnite has Reload and Blitz and all these different modes, it seems like the storyline is kind of vague. And
the storyline's definitely feeling vague, but I will say, like, the storyline going across different modes, unfortunately, we haven't seen anything from it yet. And I know that there's been people, and Something along these lines I'm going to hear in the comments, okay? You just haven't been paying close enough attention. That's not true, okay? And I'm allowed to feel what I feel about this. It seems like with the way they've handled the story the last little while, that they're kind of just giving us the red cube for the sake of giving the red cube. I hope I'm wrong in that. I hope there's a major delivery in that. If I had to put money on it, though, I would say that it's going to mean nothing. But I love, love, love the idea of the storyline going across multiple modes within Fortnite. I love that.
It affects all of the maps differently in some way or another, and it makes it a little bit harder to follow. Epic needs to simplify the storyline, make it to where even a casual player who doesn't really care that much about the story is aware of what's going on.
Do that, but you could have all, I don't want to say Easter eggs. You can go a little bit deeper for those who are real huge fans of the Fortnite storyline and make these little challenges. You could have like little voice lines here and there, little secrets to find on the map, a little bit more hidden lore compared to like the simple storyline that they're giving for those storyline fans. But they need to have it like it wasn't about Chapter 2, where I had a friend that I watched live events with all the time, but he didn't really pay too much attention to the storyline. But he watched the live events enough to the point where he kind of like understood enough of what was going on. So you need to make it simple, like Sypher said, not simple like they're having right now, where it's like, oh, Dark Presence. And I know we might get some great delivery at the end of the season. I'm just talking about how it's been kind of going. It's good enough, but it's too simple. And they need to keep it, like Sypher said, I like the idea of keeping it within Battle Royale as well. Just satisfy both audiences. You can definitely do that.
I feel like that was the case back then when people were speculating whether the rocket was going to hit Dusty Divot or Tilted Towers, or whether the monster that was melting inside the ice was eventually going to be a boss we had to fight. Those were simple storylines that people could just speculate on, and it got people excited for the live events. I feel like the most recent live events, there always has to be some sort of explanation or top 5 gaming video that you have to watch that explains the event, and the players are just left scratching their head wondering what they just watched.
You know what? That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I get that.
For the actual map changes and map that we eventually get for Chapter 7, please, for the love of God, make it work with the Fortnite aesthetic. Fortnite is a bright and cartoonish looking game. That's the charm that it had. And while the graphics have improved, going so far away from that, where the map completely looks ugly like a nuclear wasteland, Chapter 6 is probably one of the worst looking maps I have ever seen in my life. I mean,
now I'm somebody who can appreciate that art style. I get that, but I know I'm in the wrong, and what would be best for the game is to go back to that like vibrancy of Chapter 1, Chapter 2, maybe a little bit of Chapter 3. I personally think Chapter 4 had the best graphics by far, and I'm quite satisfied with Chapter 6's graphics. Chapter 5's was okay, a little bit too dark, too realistic in my opinion. It's not a big deal for me. Gameplay is a bigger deal for me.
Before the most recent Halloween update, half the POIs were just like destroyed POIs. So-and-so ruins, demons debris, city got hit by a nuke, there's bugs everywhere. The music was super loud in every single boss POI. You just hear the music blasting, you hear the bugs swarming against you. It was a very overwhelming and just messy feeling map. Fortnite needs to be clean. It needs to be clean. It needs to be aesthetically pleasing to look at. It needs to have bright, vibrant colors. You can make the graphics look great, but it still needs to look like Fortnite.
And I thought that Chapter 4 did that perfectly. And I know that Chapter 4 had some lag issues and people weren't exactly enjoying the art style because they had to turn down their graphic settings, and they would need to definitely fix that. But it's more about like the actual POIs for me. I think they were a lot better in Fortnite's history than we have with POIs now.
Please, it's a Chapter 7 map. We need a clean aesthetic, a clean theme, something that is bright and colorful and pretty. And I'm sure
they started that out. Sorry, they started that out at the beginning of Chapter 6. Chapter 6 Season 1, incredible map. I loved it. It's just the way that Chapter 6 progressed, I didn't really like all that much. But then again, people were saying the same thing about Chapter 2 and 3. These people talk about the Chapter 2 and 3 map being so great. Even Chapter 1 to some extent. Chapter 1, not so much, but once it got into Season X, which I guess is a little bit fair, but even then, people were pissed off at Season 9 that they got rid of Retail Row and they got rid of Tilted. People didn't like that, and I understand that Sypher's talking about more of just like the way the map looks, but people had problems with every single map pretty well towards the end of the chapter. Chapter 2, people were crying, whining, stomping their feet to get off this ugly map. Chapter 3, everybody hated the chrome. Chapter 4, everybody couldn't stand the jungle biome within it. It's just like towards the end of the chapter, people are tired of it.
There has to be a reason why they just vaulted every single bug and changed every bug POI, because they know that that was just not working. So hopefully that is the case for chapter 7, and I think it will be. Now, beyond Battle Royale, we need to talk about ranked mode. Ranked keeps people playing, especially the competitive and dedicated players. They spend so many more hours compared to a casual player. So having a strong ranked mode is important.
I completely agree with that. And hear me out. You need incentives to play ranked. You need to give them some special rewards. And yes, hang on. I'll give you 5 seconds to tune out of the video before you start freaking out about this word that I'm about to say. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exclusive. Are you okay? Are you okay? Here, I'll give you a second in case you need a second. Someone might have just like jumped out a window or something. Give them some exclusive cosmetics. That would be nice, and that would be something they would deserve.
It does 2 things. It keeps sweaty players out of the casual modes, and it makes the casual modes more casual, which is great for casual players. But it also gives the sweaty players something to grind and something to work at, which increases the play time of Fortnite. Ranked, in my opinion right now, is almost completely dead. It wasn't even really a true ranked mode to begin with. It was just a number simulator, and even with the changes that they've made to make getting Unreal harder, it doesn't really hit the same.
And I've been hearing a lot of like horrible things about queue times and things like that too. And when we talk about the game dying, ranked actually is something that's on its way to being completely dead.
Player count shows it. Ranked barely has enough players to fill the lobbies, especially across all the different regions. So I know Fortnite is working on ranked 2.0. So with ranked 2.0, I'm hoping they achieve the ranked mode that's actually going to hook players onto the game and be a major success. It needs to feel rewarding when you rank up, but it also needs to be a challenge. Getting to Unreal can't be as easy as just camping or just playing enough games until you get it.
Agreed. Very, very well said. You need to be able to like, hey, you need to be able to sit down and be like, hell yeah, I'm in Unreal right now. And on the other side of the coin, the player base's reaction to that can't be, oh my god, you need to go outside.
Spin points need to matter so that you can get some stacked end games that feel like cash cups and tournaments. And you have to allow for players to lose their rank if they just keep dying off spawn. This will encourage people not to just W key over and over once they hit Unreal.
Completely agree with that. I don't know why people thought that was a good idea that you can get demoted. It actually slipped my mind again that you can get demoted. But I hear about that. Crazy.
Of course, there needs to be some sort of reward system where you're able to flex different skins or custom styles and edit styles. But at the same time, when you do add something like that, some players expect it to be handed to them because
I knew he was gonna have to talk about that for everybody. But Sypher, it's not fair. It's not fair that somebody else gets something that I don't have.
They don't want to miss out on cosmetics. So there needs to be a balance between what the items are and what players expect to get. And
boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. We're talking about cosmetics in a virtual video game. And if you have a problem with that, like, I don't even know what to tell you at this point, man. I've only got the way that people have reacted to cosmetics over the years, my opinion on this has only gotten more extreme. Like, I can't believe that people are sitting down demanding, oh, I can't believe this person has this and I don't. Oh my god, it's a skin in a video game.
Honestly, we need to retrain the players. Not everything needs to be handed to you and granted to you just because it's available. Some things need to be locked behind some time, commitment, and skill to unlock.
Wow, Sypher's sitting on that, eh? Ooh, I didn't expect that.
One thing that has been teased and talked about by some leakers is old battle passes. People have purchased old battle passes but didn't have enough time to fully unlock them. And Epic could technically allow you to go back to old battle passes and fully level them up.
And I'm sure they will at some point, dude. It wouldn't shock me if they made it a V-Buck price for you. Like, you have to rebuy the battle pass or something. I can see with the way that they're handling sidekicks right now, I could definitely see that.
This is a trick that I think Epic still has up their sleeve, where if they do this, a lot of players who stopped playing back in the day, who maybe didn't finish some of their OG battle passes, might come back just to unlock some of those cosmetics that they missed out on, like the fully golden Peely or the lights on the Omega skin.
No, could you imagine if like everybody, oh, Loot Station, could you imagine? He's literally the only guy. That's not true. My dad has it. My dad played a ton of Fortnite during lockdown. Oh. But Loot Station, could you imagine? Like, he's the iconic golden Peely. Everybody walking around with that. That'd be so funny. I don't know how people
feel about this. I pretty much unlocked and fully completed all my battle pass skins. The only thing I don't even have is the golden Peely because you have to get like level 300. And I played every single day and didn't get to that level. So that's the only thing I'm missing, but I wouldn't be upset if people could go back and complete battle passes that they spent money on. Now, if they're able
Oh yeah,
to
I wouldn't care about that either. And for some reason, people find it a little bit upsetting when I say this. At the end of the day, they're Fortnite skins, and I don't care if people like it, especially if it's an old battle pass that you bought. But the whole conversation about like old battle passes coming back, they're like, why you get so upset defending it? I'm not. It's a video game. And then people comment down below and they'll literally timestamp that and be like, yeah, but I could just tell. I could just tell how upset you are and how much you don't want the people to have those skins. I'm just thinking about what's correct to do. What's the best thing to do?
Line and make it simple. We need the live events to feel epic again. I don't want to watch a cutscene. I want to see the map change during the live event. I want to see big explosions and visual effects. I absolutely love the visual effects that we saw during the Daft Punk live event that recently happened. I wish we had a little bit more of a concert experience with some of their hit songs. We didn't really get that, but it was still a cool event, and it showed us that Epic still can pull off some amazing stuff. We need that for Battle Royale, but we need to see map changes and things that actually affect the gameplay after the live event ends.
That's something that I do miss. I can't remember who mentioned it. There was another YouTuber that I was watching that mentioned this, and I forgot about it. Sorry if you happen to be watching his video. Something that I forgot that I missed was the live events happening a week before the season actually ended, so we could play with those consequences and then speculate about what's coming. Things like, you know, not most recently, but the one that comes to my mind that was a little bit recent was the sandstorm. People were speculating about right before the rec season because the live event happened before the season ended. We had to like just take a look at that sandstorm coming to the island. Those types of things, and that's something about the Fortnite storyline that was really fun too. I don't care about seeing the map change, to be honest with you. Just give me anything sort of like storyline significance with it.
Big explosion happens or a rocket ship crashes onto the map. I want to be able to load into the next game and actually go see a new POI or a map that has been modified and changed as a result of what happened during the event.
Agreed. Very, very well said.
Using live events to bring in big updates would be a great way to increase the player count and get people excited about the new content that just came in. I think sometimes Epic like overthinks it with the live events, and they try to do unique things that doesn't really land with the players. And at the end of the day, players just want really cool music, really cool special effects, and big explosions, and we will be happy.
I don't know about that, to be honest with you. I think they just want it to relate to a like storyline that's fun to follow, that has a rewarding conclusion. The reason that the end on the screen right now, right here, the reason that the end is my favorite live event is because of what it meant. I followed that storyline the entire season. It was supremely interesting. We were constantly speculating about a brand new map, and we were saying goodbye to somewhere where we spent 2 years on. That's why it was special to me. I don't care about the visuals of it.
Obviously, we also want to know what we're looking at, so the story needs to be simple enough to where even if you're not watching all the different lore videos, you kind of understand what's happening.
Yep.
Now, obviously, we expect new mechanics like new movement mechanics that could affect zero build and build, but one thing that hasn't really been touched in a very, very long time is just the build mode in Fortnite.
Ooh, I was talking about that at the beginning of the video, but something that I miss is the roll. I loved that. What happened to that? You know, like the little jump that we do in the roll? Bring that back as a new movement mechanic. I don't care. I'll be satisfied.
We've had wood, brick, and metal and the same edits pretty much since the beginning of the game until now. The only thing that's changed is that we have some quality of life features and we have simple edit. But I do feel like there's an opportunity to add new edits or even new building types to improve and expand the building mode.
I completely agree with that. And if you're a competitive player, please comment down below because I don't know how the competitive players would feel about this. Do you think that they'd be open to it, or because they've already like spent so many years perfecting their craft that it would be a little bit of a nuisance to them? But either way, I think it would be a plus for the game.
Now, some people might not be a fan of this. They might think that that might change too much of what makes building special. But I feel like after 8 years of having pretty much the same building mechanics that people have fully mastered at this point at the highest level, it might be time to look into what can be added to add more skillful plays and more unique ways to use your builds and your edits.
Completely agree, but the thing is, how are controller players supposed to do anything else at this point besides like a new edit pattern? I don't know how you could possibly make it work because we're at our limit over here with the buttons.
And then on the zero build side of things, obviously we want to add more features that affect the weapons and the movement. We did try the weapon attachments back in chapter 5, and maybe that's something that's not really fit for Fortnite.
Absolutely not. I hated that. Hated it. And guys, I am always someone to sit down and give it a really, really tough go. Like I tried it out. I tried so hard to love it because I love this game so much. The gunplay was not fun at all in chapter 5 for me.
I want to see them try more things that affects the weapon system and the movement system in a way that doesn't feel clunky. Because to this day, people are still complaining that the Chapter 4 movement is way better than Chapter 5 movement, especially in build mode. I personally don't really care that much about the movement. I think it's more of an aesthetic thing, but
I agree. I think it feels fine. Besides, I missed the roll. That's all.
movement mechanics that actually are good to use and don't cause a lot of issues like hurdling and wall jumping and wall kicking, I'm all for. And speaking of movement, I feel like the old vehicles had a little bit more charm to them, like the ATKs, the hoverboards, the ballers. These days, the only vehicles we really get are the cars and then the occasional movement items that come into the season, but we don't get those unique vehicles like we did back in Chapter 1.
Now, the golf carts are just nostalgia. I'm sorry, guys. Complete 100% nostalgia. The ATV, there's nothing special about it now. If you could fly with it, that'd be another story. And actually, did they fix that in OG? I rarely play OG these days. I don't know if they did. But regardless, you should be able to fly with the ATK, or the ATV, excuse me. The baller was super special, bouncing around, but they added energy to that, and it does not bounce the same, and you're just like rolling around like it's in Jurassic World. They killed it completely. They don't have the charm on it anymore. The only thing that's still great is the hoverboard.
Which I feel like Fortnite should re-experiment with some of the unique vehicles. And I'm not talking about putting a machine turret on the back of a car like they did in the wreck season.
Yeah, give me that. Give me some more of that.
I'm talking about just like unique vehicles that have different mechanics and different ways of moving around the map. And then, of course, when it comes to UEFN, I know that this could bring a lot more players, but we need more improved experiences in UEFN. We need more consistency, because just recently I actually released the map called Catch a Kraken. We had to delay it a full week because the Fortnitemares event actually broke them.
Yes, okay. I wasn't sure if this was going to just be a self-promo or not, because I was about to talk about this. It is ridiculous, and I know it's so much easier said than done on Epic Games. I understand that, but if you're expecting people to have and commit this much of their energy, their time, and people are starting to create these things like as their livelihood, it's unacceptable for every single update to break so many maps. It's completely unacceptable. And again, I know that they're probably working hard. I know it's easier said than done, but they got to figure that out. It's ridiculous what they're doing to UEFN devs.
Map, and my team had to scatter and try to fix it in time to release it last week. The map's out right now, so if you want to check it out, just search up Catch a Kraken or use this map code right over here. But you guys can play that while I'm gone.
I believe that's
the
about it.
Of Chapter 7, because I have a feeling.
Okay, yeah, now he's talking about his break. Oh, hang on.
Be amazing, and hopefully Epic has some big plans in store, because I will be there, and I'm gonna have some fresh legs, fresh mind, and make some amazing content for you guys. So hopefully,
dude, and I'm sure it will be great. I'm very excited for the potential of Chapter 7. They've done a lot right in Chapter 6, and a lot of people constantly talking about the game dying. It was completely overblown. We had the summer, we had the bug season. We're gonna probably hear it about the Simpsons season in a couple weeks. That's my guess. But if not, regardless, everybody will, no matter what, the reaction to will be like, oh my god, this might just be the greatest map in Fortnite history. It's just a repeat with everybody. Regardless, I'm happy playing Fortnite. I'm gonna continue playing Fortnite. I've got Delulu till the end of the year too. Nothing's gonna stop me from enjoying this game. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching. Why don't you check out our other reaction to SypherPK's video about Fortnite dying right here? I'd love to have you over there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.